the wrestlers and the entire WFI, the protest against the WFI and its chief, Brijbhushan Sharan Singh, and its tussles with the Delhi police, and what happened on the inauguration of the parliament that particular day on the 28th, their move towards Rishikesh at Har Ki Pauri, where they were going to immerse their medals in River Ganga. It seems like Ganga Ma will have to wait for her verdict at this point in time, because the Khap Panchayats, the farmer unions, the BKU has stepped in. Naresh Tikait, he went and visited the wrestlers in Rishikesh, and he's given them some sort of assurance. He's taken those medals, so that immersion of medals has been delayed, and this is how the newspapers are putting it, folks. They're saying wrestlers have delayed immersion of medals after Tikait's appeal. Police is saying they can't protest at the India Gate. The minute they left Jantar Mantar, the entire camp that they had sort of set up, that was entirely, they were detained, several supporters were detained, and that camp was completely evacuated. On the other hand, the BKU, and we've spoken about this earlier as well, Varghese. We saw pictures of the Singhu border, of the Ghazipur border, of police barricading, the police deployment in those areas, the sheets of nails that were spread across the roads. It all indicated and brought back the memory of the farmers' protest. And now the BKU is threatened to gear out Delhi borders on the 5th of June.
Well, I'm looking.
Where is this headed?
That is what I'm looking at the Tribune as now, and what the Tribune says is that they've quoted Sakshi Malik. And as to your question as to where it could be headed, maybe the Tribune has an answer from that quote of Sakshi Malik. She says, "The medals are our lifeline. After immersing these in the Ganga, we will start a fast unto death at India Gate." So right now it looks like there's a pause on this because, of course, the immersion of the medals have been delayed right now with the Tikait brothers also getting involved in it. But this has struck a chord with people in Haryana and Punjab. This has, in fact, also resulted in this entire thing being played out. And then in fact, what it says is, in the Tribune, it says, accompanied by hundreds of their supporters, the wrestlers, including Olympic medalists Sakshi Malik, Bajrang Punia, and Asian Games gold medalist Vinesh Fogart arrived at Har Ki Pauri to protest the alleged inaction against Wrestling Federation India chief Brijbhushan Sharan Singh, who was being accused of sexually harassing several women grapplers. So probably this.
There's a picture of the wrestlers clasping their medals at Haridwar's Har Ki Pauri.
I think that is the same pictures there in
precisely.
Most of the
That's exactly the visuals that we're showcasing,
right.
And
they're
running right behind us as well. Tuesday morning, this is what happened, ladies and gentlemen. Wrestlers announced that they will immerse their medals in Ganga, followed by fast unto death at the India Gate. At about 5:55 to 7 o'clock in the evening yesterday, tearful wrestlers reached Har Ki Pauri in Rishikesh in hundreds, in terms of numbers, hundreds of people surrounding them in support, raising Bharat Mata Ki Jai and Nyay Do, give justice, and all those kinds of slogans. At about 7:20 to 7:30, this 10-minute period is when the BQ delegation arrives at the spot. The wrestlers hand over the medals to Naresh Tikait, the visuals that you're seeing over there. Now, the farmers have also entered the fray. Interestingly, it's a beautiful way of putting it that, we've got our wrestlers that think that it's the most safest place, the safest haven for them is with the sons of the soil, our farmers, the backbone of the country. It's with the Kisans. And their might and power is also something that's no news to anybody. We've seen it happen in recent history.
So also let me take your attention to this medal immersion that was being talked about. The Tribune has in fact said that it's an episode reminiscent of the 1960 incident in which boxer Muhammad Ali threw Olympics gold into Ohio in protest against racial discrimination in the United States. So this has a history, and probably we were seeing that replay. I'll just, just alluding to it, there was a poetry that was written by Muhammad Ali regarding this particular aspect of it, why he had to throw it. I just got a few lines of it. I'll just read it out for those who were interested in a little bit of literature.
Muhammad Ali, back in the day, also threw his medal
Well, that is
in
the
protest against.
There are two versions to it. The popular thing is that he threw because but some say that he misplaced it also. But let's take on the emotional version for now because that's where the poetry and
So
literature
he
is
threw
all
his
about.
medal for
Because of racial discrimination in
Raci-
1960. That is
in protest,
in protest
against
against racial
racial
discrimination. US.
discrimination. All right.
So just a few lines from that, from his poetry on that particular. To make America the greatest is my goal. So I beat the Russian and I beat the Pole. And for USA won the medal of gold. He felt shamed, shocked, and lonesome. He threw the gold medal in a river. So some of the lines from that poet. I mean, people can in fact look.
Do you think the message and the emotional quotient that they're trying to attract, the wrestlers, they're being successfully able to do that? Are they being able to put their message across to the people?
See, to an extent, a lot of people are in fact wanting to know what exactly happened.
If I were to go to Connaught Place today, if I were to ask, let's say, take a sample survey of, let's say, 150 people, ask them, do you even know why the wrestlers are protesting? How many do you think would be able to come up with an answer?
I think a lot of women will be able to come up with an answer. I think a lot of women are following the story. A lot of women have been following a lot of stories, especially regarding the death of the murder that happened in Delhi. The wrestler story is also something they have been following up with. So a lot of women have been following this story as such, and many of them have spoken about whether this is true or not, whether you should have gone straight away. But an FIR has been filed. If my memory is right, an FIR being filed and therefore no action being taken is something that.
And how the Delhi police, conducted its investigation in the initial days is something that's also been, frowned upon. You've got Swati Malewal, you've got several other, dignitaries and politicians that have lent support. Let's quickly take a look at some reactions. We've got political reactions because, like I mentioned earlier, in the beginning of the show, how do Indian politicians not politicize anything that's happening under the sun? We could politicize the process of photosynthesis as well. But what does Mamata Banerjee here say? And what is Naresh Tikait, the person who visited Har Ki Pauri and in that 10-minute window was able to somehow give them the wrestlers assurance, and they've given their medals to Naresh Tikait.